Apple just held an event today where they debuted two of their brand new iPad models, a revolutionary new Apple Pencil, and two major updates to their editing software for iPads. Here's everything you need to know. We're first greeted with Tim Cook, then we move on to the iPad Air. For the first time ever, they are going to make a 13-inch version of this model. They should cater to people who want the larger screen without having to pay for the iPad Pro. The camera will be in landscape mode, which is going to be nice because you could use it with the Magic Keyboard, and they're going to be using Center Stage, which is machine learning, which will automatically zoom out on all the subjects. The iPad Air will come in four colors: blue, purple, starlight, and space gray. This model will be powered by the M2 chip, and it'll come in four different storage sizes: 128 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes, and 1 terabyte. The 11-inch will start at $599, and the 13-inch will start at $799. Now we're moving on to the iPad Pro. One of the biggest surprises here is how thin this tablet is going to be. The 11-inch model is only going to be 5.3 millimeters, and the 13-inch model is even thinner at 5.1 millimeters. This will be the thinnest product Apple's ever made, and it's surprisingly light. The 11-inch is only 0.98 pounds, and the 13-inch will be 1.28 pounds. Another huge reveal here is that Apple's not only using an OLED screen, which we already knew, but they're using a tandem OLED panel. That means there will be two OLED panels, which will make it even brighter than ever. The peak brightness on this display is 1600 nits, which is really bright, and they're calling this display an Ultra Retina XDR display. It's also worth noting that nanotexture glass will reduce the glare on the screen, so it'll be easy to see in any type of light. Another huge reveal is that this will be the first device to get Apple's powerful new M4 processor. This device will be perfect for advanced gaming as well as photo and video editing due to this powerful M4 processor. Because of how thin it is, Apple will be using graphite sheets in the main housing as well as copper in the Apple logo to improve the thermal efficiency so it won't overheat. Apple revealed that they needed to put the M4 chip in the iPad Pro because they're also updating Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro, which will both use a lot more processing power. In Final Cut Pro now, you could do things that you could never do before. You could use 4 different cameras and you could control all of them from your iPad directly. So you could use your iPhones as cameras, and then you could look at all of them on your iPad, and you could choose which angles you want to use, and they all sync at the same time. All of you musicians will love editing music on Logic Pro because now they're adding bass and keyboard player along with drummer. Logic Pro could also build a digital model of all of your analog music, and you could also do things like extract voice, bass, drums, and other instruments directly on this app. The camera system is also updated. There's a 12 megapixel rear camera along with the LiDAR scanner and adaptive True Tone flash, which allow you to do advanced things like scan documents just with a single click, because it could do things like remove shadows by taking multiple angles. So now you could scan directly on your iPad Pro. The front camera has also moved to landscape mode just like the iPad Air. Apple's also releasing a brand new Magic Keyboard which has function keys on top. It also has an aluminum chassis with haptic feedback on the mousepad, so it's easy to use and feels more like a laptop. No surprise, Apple was going to save their biggest accessory for last in the newly redesigned Apple Pencil Pro. It's going to have a new squeeze gesture. Whenever you squeeze the bottom of it, it's going to bring up a menu and you could choose from different writing utensils or an eraser. It will also have a gyroscope, which means you could use something called barrel roll. So this is a new feature for Apple where you can choose different thicknesses of lines, or you could choose a different orientation of a line, which is a pretty neat feature that they've never had before. This Apple Pencil will also support haptic feedback and Find My in case you misplace it. These are all the specs for the iPad Pro. They're going to come in 4 different storage capacities. It'll start at 256 gigs, 512, 1 terabyte, and 2 terabytes. The 11-inch iPad Pro will start at $999. The 13-inch will start at $1,299. For the Magic Keyboard, if you want the 11-inch model, it's $299. The 13-inch will be $349. And the new Apple Pencil Pro will be $129. You could pre-order any of these items today, and they'll be available starting next week. Another small announcement is that the 10th generation iPad, which is the entry level, will be moved down in price to $349 as they're going to phase out the 9th generation iPad. That about wraps up Let Loose 2024. What are you most excited about, the iPad Air, the iPad Pro, or the Apple Pencil? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed watching this video, feel free to give me a like and follow my channel.